Hello, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and where you can always come to us first to quench your reality thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am currently not drinking tea. Actually, I'm drinking orange juice, and I'm drinking it out of my big tumbler because I just really wanted a lot of orange juice today. Vitamin D is good for my soul, and I needed it this morning because we're recording right in the very afternoon. I guess afternoon for us. But yeah, but if I was drinking anything else and I wanted something smaller, cuter, daintier, it would be my cup mug. And you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanajscreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically US. So there are no excuses. Get your cup mug. And you know who I'm looking at today? I'm looking at Tay. I'm looking right at him. I'm looking right at you. Get your cup mug. Period.
I was like, at some point I'm gonna get shaded for this because I don't have a cup mug.
Yeah. It's happening.
I'm new to the cup. It still needs to happen though.
Yeah.
Morning, y'all. I'm back again. It's Tay. You can find me at Complete Schmidt everywhere. I am a little over caffeinated this morning, but still tired. I'm just drinking water now though because we're trying to be healthy.
Look at me remembering to put your name in the banner this time.
I learned,
I learned too. I was like, wait, last time Tay was here, I did not put his handle in the thing, and now I am. Here it is. Is there? Cup official. Tay is official. It's here.
We're both growing.
We're both growing. We're growing. We're learning. We're doing things. But we are here to talk about House of Villains, episode 7. And I'm just gonna say it. They're delivering. They're giving me what I wanted in a reality show full of villains.
I was entertained to start to finish. There's so much to talk about. Like it opens so good, it closes so good. This is just like once again another great hour of television.
Absolutely. But first, before we get into that, if you're here and you're seeing this and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel. We talk about everything reality TV, almost everything reality TV. And we put content out almost every single day. So you don't want to not be a part of this. Hit that notification bell as well. If you're a fan of drag, go to our main channel, The Cup Pod, because we do all things drag over there. I mean, all things drag. Drag Race, Love Moss, Drag You Love, everything. We do all things drag over there. So go subscribe over there. And if you're a fan of Eurovision, we have a new channel coming out just for you, The Cup ESC. So if you're a fan of Eurovision, we do all things Eurovision. They're starting that up right now. So we're a multifaceted company here we got running on this Cup umbrella. So go follow all of our channels. Thanks so much. But back to House of Villains. Like Tay said, it started off strong, it ended strong. Everything you want in a House of Villains, it happened in this episode, and I'm excited to talk about it. So we start off where Corinne is gone. Corinne's gone. Bye, girl.
5-0.
Peace out, honey. She's gone, and Tanisha's a little shocked that it was unanimous. Everybody was kind of like, hey, I thought somebody was gonna vote for Corinne to stay. I honestly didn't expect a unanimous vote, but I was like, okay, well, as long as Tanisha here, I don't really care.
I love Anfisa just chiming in to show like, hey, I do know that I'm playing a game. I heard the votes were going against me, and I got on the right side of them. Correct,
Agreed.
Anfisa. Way to do good job. Yeah, that was more than I expected, but
Me
I'm
too.
happy.
I was like, oh, Effie's is actually playing the game. I love it. I love it. But yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I wonder how she heard, like, who was talking about where the votes were going, who mentioned that they were voting for Tanisha. Like, I don't know.
I think Bobby is probably a huge piece of this because
Hmm.
based on how the house breakdown is going to be described this episode, I think when Bobby decides he's voting out Corinne, that probably catches Anfisa off guard. That probably
Mm.
catches Omarosa off guard. And so that's my guess as to where that information came from.
I can see that. I can see that. But we go and Omarosa is not happy with the way this
No.
vote came down.
Well, she has been brutalized. I don't know if you know this, but she has been assaulted. She has been
Attacked,
beaten.
beaten with a tambourine.
The deadliest instrument on the planet. God forbid you're hit with a tuba or a trombone or a saxophone. A tambourine is really. It has all those pieces of metal on it. It's basically kind of like what are the whips with the glass on them? It's kind of like that as an instrument.
I mean, the tambourine hitting someone's hand should be brutal, although the tambourine is played by hand. I mean, I'm just saying, the tambourine is played by hand.
It's not meant to hit the hand, though.
But it's not meant to.
You can break your wrist hitting a tambourine.
And I, for one, loved the producers and their shadiness and their pettiness in this episode, or in all the episodes, actually, because when we get the delusional villains, they give us the seen not found because it never happened scene. And then they showed Tanisha with the tambourine literally swiping towards Omarosa and missing Omarosa.
It looks like she might hit the pan instead.
Right, but never hit her hand.
And I just want to underline too, it's like Omarosa, the only reason you're in the position to be hit with the tambourine is because you've inserted yourself into this moment. Like, you made this bed, so please lie in it.
Like, girl. And not only is Omarosa talking about this tambourine, she's livid. She's upset. She's now going to the producers saying, I want my phone. I need to call my attorney.
We need to look at the contract.
Because they are breaching it. She should be gone. I am upset. And she stayed on the phone with her attorney for a couple hours.
I'm just going to be real. I think this has more to do with the vote flipping than anything, because if she'd really been brutalized, why didn't we hear about it after she'd been brutalized? Why does all of this make the edit now? It seems like the frustration is a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
But
we
that's
wanted
Tanisha
gone. But you wanted Tanisha gone. It didn't happen. And now you're trying to figure out another reason or another way to get her gone. And I'm like, if you got hit by a tambourine in that moment, you would have been like, oh, girl, you hit me with this tambourine on my arm and my wrist and it hurt. Like in that moment when the tambourine hit the wrist, I would have been like, oh, child, girl, you hit me with the tambourine on my wrist. Like, no. But no, you didn't. You just let it go. And you was just all the rest of the day. I just got in that moment because I know Villain 101. If you want to take a moment away from somebody, you just get in it. Da, 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 da. And you went on the entire day just fine. Your wrist didn't hurt. You wasn't complaining about your wrist hurting. You ain't saying nothing about your hand hurting at all the whole time.
But it's so bad that production forces her to go get an x-ray, as she's going to tell almost every single person in the house.
Johnny, would you walk me to the door? Because I need to get an x-ray on my wrist. My head hurts. I think it's broken. Like she's giving me that vibe. She's giving me my niece's vibe. Like I hurt myself. I think it's broken. Like no, it's not broken if you can do this. It's not broken. Oh, it's so funny. She is such a petulant child in this moment. I was like, girl, nothing's wrong with your wrist. You don't need x-rays. And then she has the nerve to go get the x-rays and come back with a brace.
And she institutes a restraining order against Tanisha.
5 feet. 5 feet. Because at first he wanted 100 feet. And I'm like, that's not enough room in this house for 100 feet. So her producer's like, how about 5? She's like, okay, I can do 5. So now she wants 5 feet away from Tanisha. And Tanisha's like, okay, fine. 5 feet.
The look on Tanisha's face during this conversation when like production is telling her she needs to now say it's so like, I'm going to say whatever you need me to say. You're going to be so ridiculous that I'm going to like give you whatever performance you want. Just get me the fuck up out of this conversation as quickly as possible.
Like, you want 5 feet? Okay, 5 feet. And I'm sorry if something happened. I didn't mean to disrespect you or any kind of way. So I'm sorry, but I'll give you your 5 feet. I'm going to go. I'm just gonna go.
And she's so polite in that conversation, and then she goes upstairs and she's like, a restraining order. Yeah, like the pettiness just comes out immediately. Like you can tell she thinks this is just as much of bullshit as everybody else in the room does.
Everybody thinks this bull. It is so funny because when she goes in the kitchen and she's like, restraining order. Johnny is like, what? She's like, restraining order. Bobby was like, on you.
Well, and Johnny goes, oh, we're getting a second season now.
It was so crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, she is Delulu. Like, it's so ridiculous. And then after the whole restraining order, the 5 feet away, they go sit outside. And it's Tanisha, it's Johnny, it's Bobby, it's Anfisa. And they're sitting out by the fire. And Omarosa walks out. And Johnny's like, hey, Omarosa, come on over. And she does. And Tanisha was like, what happened to the 5 feet? Because I know you weren't expecting me to move when I was sitting here first. Like,
well, and Omarosa's about to give us some more Delulu when she decides to go.
More Delulu.
You know, I've been wanting to get rid of Corinne for forever, but I had to reverse psychologize y'all to get rid of her.
I was like, the delusion of this woman. And Johnny was like, Johnny Fairplay was like, the fact that Omarosa always wants to take credit for every single move and it has nothing to do with her is ridiculous.
Even your ally is going to talk some smack now because this is crazy.
This is crazy. That's like me saying, Taylor, I knew me leaving the game of the Hive was the best move for you to get you to perpetuate you to the end. So I lost on purpose You're
welcome.
You're welcome, Taylor. I lost on purpose just so you can get to the end because I didn't want them to look at us as a duo anymore.
It's so dumb.
I'm like, are you crazy? Like, you can tell me, Lana, I acted like a villain that whole season just so you could win. You're welcome. I'll be like, you know what, Taylor? Thank you. Thank you for being the villain that you were.
It underlines that, like, Omarosa can never handle not being the main character. Ever. She's like, oh, shit, they're going to give me an under-the-radar edit. Can't have that. I need to claim credit for everything because everything about this show revolves around me.
Because I know how to play the game and reverse psychology everybody to get what I want. While you're asking for security and a restraining order against someone who clearly didn't hit you.
Well, this
But
was her master plan to make it a double elimination. See, she knew the tambourine had hit her hand.
oh,
So she was like, I'm going to get them to vote out Corinne, and then I'm going to
and
lawyer
then
out Tanisha. It just
oh,
prod caught
and
on too quick. But, I mean, it was really a genius move on her part.
yeah. She probably would be like, "That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. You were right. I knew somebody would see my plan. Like, oh, that woman. Oh, I can't. I can spend the whole hour talking about how delusional she is and how
She's winning.
crazy she's winning for sure. She won the whole thing already. I don't know why we're even keeping going with these episodes. She won. Oh, Jesus. So we have to move. We have to move to the next day because
A challenge is going to happen.
a challenge is going to happen.
Challenge.
We do see. I do kind of say I love how they incorporate the people leaving after they leave and how they get rid of their dolls and things. I think this was the most funniest one for me. Like we've seen a burial of New York's doll. We saw Jack just getting sit outside. Like there you go, bye guy. But I think this one was more creative and more funny to me. Seeing Johnny with Johnny Bananas with Corinne's doll, and they're doing a little music video, and he got the doll, and he's riding the swan, he's singing to her, and they're doing the spinning around thing, and he's just like, spin, I love you. Wow.
She either thought this was really cute or is like, I cannot believe I ever professed publicly to have a crush on this man. It's like one or the other, right?
It's now. One or the other. I feel like she'd be like, oh, that's so cute. I'm going with the cute.
Johnny's given us comedy. You know, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Johnny this season.
I will say I have not been a fan of Johnny Bananas on the challenge, but I really enjoy Johnny Bananas on this show. I do.
He's funny. I mean, and we'll have to talk about him later in the. He pops up again in a really fun way too. A couple of times actually.
Yeah, Johnny is actually carrying the show a lot. Like a lot of the stuff is revolving around Johnny and his personality. So I'm a fan of him on this show for sure. He's definitely doing. I was like, Johnny Bananas when we first saw the season, the cast. I was like, of course Johnny Bananas would be there. I mean, it makes sense for House of Villains. But then I'm like, do I really want to see Johnny Bananas from the challenge? But we're not getting the Johnny Bananas from the challenge. We're getting pieces of Johnny Bananas from the challenge, which I appreciate because there's some pieces of Johnny Bananas from the challenge. And I'm like, the smart, the strategic, the politicking. I enjoy that part of him because he's. But then we're getting this whole, we're getting a whole new side. Yeah. Because he don't know these people. Like the challenge, he knows those people know him. He's at a hierarchy in the challenge. Yeah. Like everybody wants to work with, either you want to work with Johnny Bananas or you can't stand Johnny Bananas. There's no in between on the challenge. Either people want to try to take him down because he's Johnny Bananas, or they want to work with him so bad because he's Johnny Bananas. And so with this show, he's not that. He can't come in playing the same game because he's not the Johnny Bananas that everybody want to work with. Yeah. He had to make his way become that, and he did. He's doing really doing it.
And I'm doing it.
I kind of want to see. I used to say I don't want to see Johnny Bananas on Big Brother, but I kind of want to do now because I think he would be amazing to see the social his social strategy play out in a Big Brother setting.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's nice seeing him interact with like different types of people, like other kinds of reality players. Like the challenge tends to get one specific type of competitor. I mean, there's like variation within the type, but typically speaking, you're getting people who are a bit more comp oriented. And this is just not that.
So we get to the challenge of it all, the comp of it all. And it's like a safety chain, but with a briefcase. With a briefcase. And you have to pass this briefcase off. The first person who gets the briefcase has to pass it off, and you keep passing it off. And the last person who ends up with the briefcase will win whatever in the briefcase. Now, when Joe McHale said that, I was like, it is not supervillain. It was the second he said, I was like, it's not supervillain, because if he would have said whoever ends up with the briefcase is the supervillain of the week. He was like, whoever wins gets to open the briefcase and gets what's inside. So I was like, okay, it's the twist. I don't know why they weren't thinking that. I'm like, y'all are villains. Y'all supposed to peep that out.
Well, I mean, the twist is also, despite how devastated Johnny Fairplay is by this twist, the twist is not that big of a twist.
Really not. Look. Okay, so since we're there, we will go and talk about it, because Anfisa gets the briefcase first, and then
we basically got like a split house where there's like
Johnny,
4 and 3.
Yeah, Johnny, Tanisha, Shake, and Fairplay.
Yeah, so Johnny sees himself on one side with Shake, Fairplay, and Tanisha, and on the other side is Bobby, Omarosa, and Anfisa.
Right.
And since Anfisa gets the briefcase first, this side of the house is down to 2. So they should be set up really well to win. The problem is that one of the numbers over here, Johnny Fairplay, is actually more in the middle.
Yes.
And so the briefcase basically just bounces back and forth between the 2 sides until I think the second to last person to get it is
Johnny Bananas.
Or no.
Bobby gets it, and Bobby gives it to Bananas.
And then Bananas gives it to Johnny.
Right.
But the way it kind of comes down is like Bobby gets to decide if either Johnny or either Fairplay or Bananas wins. And in Bananas' head, he's like, oh, this is fine, because like both Fairplay are on the same side. Whereas Fairplay has clearly been also playing the Omarosa angle. And so I was a little surprised that he wanted power as badly as he did, because I was like, boo, you're aligned with everyone. You don't need this power. But the twist is that he doesn't actually win power. He gets to pick a supervillain of the week instead. Which, in my head, not that big a twist. You just give it to an ally, and you're still safe.
Right.
But I've never seen a grown man more devastated about winning a comp in my life.
Johnny wanted to win so bad, because he was like, I've never won individual immunity on Survivor anytime I played, and so I've never won anything. I never won a challenge. And so he was like, now I win this challenge, and it's not the supervillain. I really, really wanted supervillain. And Johnny Fairplay was mad, y'all. Mad. Like, he went off. I don't want to talk to nobody for 5 minutes. I need to go.
He's wearing a free Johnny Fairplay t-shirt. Like, he's wearing his own merch and just weeping in this backyard that he didn't win this competition, which was not a competition.
Really not. And then he's in the confessional. He's crying. He's like, I'm devastated. I just really wanted to win this. I'm okay.
It's like a slap in the face.
Like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I gave 20 years of my life for this, and this is what I get. I've won a challenge, and it's not really a win. It's a slap in the face. I don't like. I'm okay. No, I'm okay, because this is cars. This is crap, and I'm so mad. I was like, Johnny Fairplay, if you don't get yourself together on this TV screen and stop acting. My favorite quote in this moment was Anfisa was like, to see this grown man acting like this is like, no. I was like, I feel you, Anfisa. You're giving
the second time this episode, Anfisa, I was like, oh, agreed.
She ate. I'm like, you eating, Anfisa? You're eating. Like, she's growing on me, y'all. She is. It just took some time, but she is growing on me. And I'm like, thank God, because girl, I need more. And she's now starting to give us a little bit more. And I was like, good, because I was like, Johnny, please.
You are Johnny freaking a lot more. She's even potentially, getting into a new showmance, maybe. We'll talk about it,
We'll talk about it. But yeah. All I know is she's eating. Johnny Fairplay is breaking down. And Tanisha's trying to calm, like, it's okay, Johnny. At least everybody voted for you to get this. That means everybody likes you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, true, but you don't want everybody to like you. Like, I don't need everybody to like me in this game because when everybody like you, eventually they're gonna start turning on you because everybody likes you.
Yep.
I've learned that the hard way. People. You don't
Well, and now
want
people are
everybody to
commenting on it.
Right. Because now when they start commenting on it, it's like, uh-oh, my cover's blown. Everybody likes me. I have to make some people not like me. I don't, and by that time it's too late because if you flip the script and make sure everybody don't like you, then they just go vote you out. Like that's the reason to vote you out now, because now I don't like you and other people do like you. It's a slippery slope.
So I guess Fairplay is now in the position where he has to like pick which side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got a split house. One side thinks he's with him. The other side also thinks he's with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because he kind of goes through the motions of like having these conversations with everybody where he basically is just like, I get to pick your noms, right? Which, yeah, of course, that's like how you're going to play it. But he eventually picks Bobby, and it kind of seems like he's going to pick Bobby all along.
Yeah. I felt he was going to pick Bobby all along because everybody else
Bobby just made sure you won, so it makes sense to give it back.
It makes sense. And I'm like, okay, so Bobby Lights is now the supervillain of the week. That's what we're getting. That's what we got. And I was like, interesting. I want to see what Bobby was going to do with this because we've seen Bobby talk a lot of what he would do, but never had the power to actually do it. Now Bobby has the power to do it. So I'm like, what is Bobby going to do with this?
But there's this like asterisk next to his win, right? Because it's like Fairplay is kind of saying, I won and I gave it to you, so I should get to choose what we're doing here. And what's interesting is, of all people that Fairplay is trying to keep safe, he doesn't want Bananas to go up.
Exactly.
Who Bobby is absolutely going to want to put Bananas up because Bananas put Bobby up.
Exactly. It's kind of crazy because if it was up to Fairplay, he wanted Tanisha, Anfisa, and Shake to go up. So and Bobby was like, "Yeah, I'll do that. Sure, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
I'll do whatever you want.
Whatever you want me to do." I mean, and that's what you say in that moment, even if you don't plan on doing it. You always be like, "Yeah, I'll do what you want."
It's funny watching some of these players be like, "We'll talk about it." I'm like, no. Just tell him yes.
Just tell him yes, so he can give it to you. I was like, Tanisha, don't just be like anybody but Johnny Bananas, which is fine because he didn't want Johnny Bananas to go up anyway. So I'm like, I'll do what you want me to do. Anybody you want me to put up.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. But so Bobby is the supervillain. And Johnny Fairplay is like, you just let me pick your hit list. And Bobby's like, sure. All the while, Bobby's like,
no,
no, not gonna let you pick mine. But you keep thinking it. I'm gonna let you pick some of them because I was gonna pick them anyway. But no. So then they tell Bobby it's time for him to pick his luxury to go on their luxury trip, and he can pick who he wants to go. So he's like, obviously, I'm picking Johnny Fairplay because he just gave me supervillain. I'm paying him back. Da da da. Great. And he's like, and this person has taken me on their luxury thing, so I'm picking Omarosa. Omarosa's gone on every luxury thing that they've had, which I was like, interesting.
It was like boring to watch. I was like, oh, I don't need more of like this side of the house having power and screen time. Like I just kind of wanted to see what like I wanted Bobby to do something a little more chaotic, I think.
Yeah. I think it would have been more fun if he took like Shake and Anfisa.
Yeah, that would be an interesting pairing.
That would have been an interesting pairing just to see them like I don't even want to talk. And he's like, I don't even want to talk to him.
So, and like the reward is kind of funny because they get to drive this like fancy ass car through Hollywood Boulevard. And once again, Fairplay is like so excited. He's convinced he's the most famous person on the planet. He is going to talk about how he's more famous than everyone they're driving by.
But we didn't know if this was going to happen because before they can even leave the mansion, the car wouldn't start. I was like, not the car not starting. And they had to bring in people and pop the hood and try to do something. I was like, oh.
They got on the phone at one point. I was like, man, y'all really like this car is, I don't know.
This is $100,000 car, and y'all just like couldn't.
It doesn't run.
Couldn't make sure it ran right. Oh gosh, it was so crazy. I was like, oh, finally, yay! They got the car to start. Like,
but it was also, it was just kind of like a whatever luxury moment, I think, because like we've seen Omarosa do fabulous shit all season, and then it's basically just Johnny kind of getting to swing his dick around in an expensive car that he didn't buy.
I'm more famous than you, like Johnny Fairplay. You ask a 20-year-old or 18-year-old who you are, they have no idea. They have no idea. You can ask a 25-year-old. They have no idea who you are.
You can ask people who currently watch Survivor who you are, and there's a good chance they won't know who you are. Like, be real, bro. Like, you haven't been on reality TV for a decade. Like,
you're not that relevant. In like, you know who's more famous than you, Bobby? I mean, Johnny Fairplay.
The entire cast.
Honey Boo Boo is more famous than you because she was on TV more recently than you. Like, I'm sorry, you're the Golden Bachelor is more famous than you right now.
He is so high in this moment, and it's so unjustified. It just it's painful.
It's
like
very...
I just watch my respect for this man, like, which I didn't have a ton of, but it's just
I was like, you're more famous than who? Oh yeah, you're probably more famous than me because I've never been on reality TV. But you're not more famous than everybody else. Like, absolutely not. Oh, just
what was funny to me about this like moment in the show was like I was way more interested in what was going on back at the house than I was like on the luxury date, because we get this moment by the pool where it kind of seems like there's some physical chemistry finally between Anfisa and Johnny, and production pretty pointedly asks Anfisa like, hey, is Johnny warming up to you? And based on like the way they're laying there in their swimwear gazing at each other's bodies, like I just have to wonder, I'm like, is there something potentially coming on this front?
Here we go. I feel like Anfisa is starting to really play this game, and I know she realizes she messed up with Johnny when she shunned him the first half of the game, and then when he was the supervillain, she was like, oh, hey Johnny. I think she realizes that was my mistake. I did not warm up to it looked very fake. So now I feel like Anfisa's like, let me hedge my bets here. Let me show him that when I was talking to him, it wasn't just because he was supervillain and I didn't want to get, let me keep doing it just in case he gets supervillain again, which is quite possible when it comes to Johnny Bananas. So I feel like Anfisa's like, let me for real play this game. I think she's finally getting her head into the game and realizing the social part of this has to be played correctly. And so
I think that's the right read. I definitely think Anfisa deserves more credit in this moment because it definitely shows her being a little more flexible. I also think, though, there's probably a bit of like the Bananas charm offensive that might finally be having an effect.
And I think the fact that Corinne is gone, she doesn't feel like she has to compete with Corinne anymore because it's like she's gone. So I don't have to compete with her for his attention or his time. I can just be there. And Fisa is gorgeous, by the way. When she walked out in her bikini, I was like, golly.
Body 10 out of 10.
10 gotta tell, like, golly. I'm like, okay, I am not a gay woman, but I'm looking at this woman like maybe I am, or
I
maybe I'm bi.
could,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I'm gay,
Maybe
but
I'm
I could
bi.
be
I
bi for
don't know.
Anfisa.
She was
Like,
body's
she serves.
gorgeous.
Every time
Body
she's always looking stunning. You know,
stunning.
like the other people in this house have their off days and their on days. Shake has a lot of off days, but Anfisa has no off days.
Yeah, she's stunning in everything she wears. And I'm like, good lord. But yeah, I think she's realizing her social game needs to be stepped up a whole lot more. And it's the perfect time to do it when he's not supervillain, when he doesn't have any
Mm-hmm.
power.
When y'all are both stuck at the house because you didn't
We
get
just
picked.
stuck. We ain't doing nothing. So it's like, okay, cool. So hey, how you doing? What you talking about? I would. I applaud that. I think she's starting to figure that this is a game. And
Yeah.
and I realized she's starting to think that she can't keep hitching her wagon to just Omarosa
Yeah.
because she's turning out to be some of a polarizing character, and people are going to
Yeah.
do the whole thing of if I can't get to Omarosa, I'm gonna get to her allies. And I know, and people are like, I don't want to be one of the people they come after just to get to her.
Yeah.
So
You don't want to be the second head that they
mm-mm.
come for.
I want you to go for the head of the snake and leave me out of it.
Yep. Yep. I want you
So
to think I could be a vote against the snake, please.
please and thank you. Exactly. But after they come back from the challenge, they're all excited. Johnny Fairplay is like, I got to do this and drive this car and on Hollywood Boulevard. Great. It was great. Sure.
We also see some info leaking. Like Johnny
Mm.
Fairplay is basically going to spill all of the strategic conversations that happened in the car to Bananas, which I thought is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And then you also see upstairs Omarosa doing kind of the same thing with Anfisa.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the line, do you want hot tea or do you want sweet southern tea?
I was like, give me the sweet southern tea and then the hot tea because I like all the tea. Because you know I love me some tea first. Just saying. But yeah, I thought that was so funny. But what I found interesting before we even get to that conversation, the conversation that happened between Shake and Bananas, because Shake and
Mm,
Bananas was talking, and Shake is pissed. Shake is like, if he didn't get the supervillain to Bobby, Bobby's definitely coming for us. How do we handle it? But Bananas is like, we gotta chill. We have to make it look like this is all Bobby. It's not but Fair Play's fault. It's all Bobby. We
co-
can't correct
correct,
move.
Bananas. Correct.
Correct move. He was like, because if Fair Play happens to win the next one, I don't want him thinking I'm mad at him and he comes for me. So we have to make it look like it's all Bobby. We're not mad at Fair Play.
Yeah.
And Shake is like, okay, but I'm still mad. He was like, yeah, but you can't show that to Fair Play. You have
And
to.
you can tell Bananas is doing a good job of this because Fairplay feels like he can spill all this info to Bananas, you know?
Exactly. And he's like, even though Fair Play Bananas actually did tell Fair Play and Bobby in that whole truce before Bobby became a supervillain, he told him, he was like, look, if he goes back on this, it's your
Deal.
fault. It's
Yeah.
it's on you. I'm coming for you. And Fair Play is like, oh no. And he was like, if he does not go through, I'm coming for you. And so that's why Fair Play was like, okay, no, Bobby has to do this. He's going to do this. And when Bobby mentions to Fair Play about possibly putting up Bananas, he's like, no, you said on the truce, we had this deal that you won't do that. And he's like, I'll let Fair Play think that I'm listening to him.
Yeah,
I
but
ain't
it's
really
my opinion
listening.
that matters.
So I was like, ooh. So it's a lot of around the world back and forth going. And so go ahead.
Well, it's just interesting because I think coming into these like nominations, like the thing we think is like Bobby's going to do what Bobby thinks is best for
Of
Bobby,
course. Absolutely.
which is an interesting thing to say given what's about to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I knew, I'm like, Bobby is going to do what he wants to do. He's that kind of villain. We've seen him even on the confessionals. He's like, I'm the villain. I know
Mm-hmm.
what kind of villain I am. And I don't like doing what other people tell me to do because that's being a follower. I'm a villain. I'm the leader. Da da da. And so we always knew Bobby was going to just do whatever Bobby wanted to do in the first place. And so the fact that he was like, okay, let's go. And they went into this layer. Wait, before we do this, funny part, not Eva um shaming
Shading.
Johnny, shading Johnny Fairplay about his clothes. Like, this is a fancy affair, Johnny Fairplay.
Not
Don't
a
come in a
t-shirt, please.
raggedy t-shirt. I was like, get him, Eva. Shade that man. Shade him.
Production
Shade him.
remains the main character,
They are,
actually.
oh, shade him. I was here for the shade. I loved it. I was like, yes, get him again. Get him again, girl. Get him again. So funny. Wait, before we even get
And
there,
the
we
pride
can't.
party.
I'm about to say that's what I'm about to go back to. We can't miss the bride party. So before we even get to the lair, Bobby is like, I'm super villain, so I'm throwing a pride party in this house. And I was like, he said, I'm gonna mask my chaos with a party. And I was like,
Fail. You're gonna
fail.
fail. Fail. Nobody. That chaos is so abundantly clear. Nobody will ever forget it, Bobby.
It was insane. But he did a pride party, and Johnny was like, I'll participate. But Dad was like, I will participate in this party if you dress me. And Bobby was like, absolutely. I will give you something to wear. And Johnny was actually feeling himself when Johnny Bananas is a drag queen at heart.
Yeah. So Bobby gets Bananas in this like slinky orange skin tight dress with like a little purple bob wig. Kind of does
The,
some
the
makeup
party
for
city, the party city bachelorette wig is what I like to call it.
so funny. And Bananas basically tells the camera like, I am gonna let Bobby know that if he lets me go, he's losing this good time. And Bananas, use that body, twerk a little, flirt a little, like put yourself in something skimpy and dance. Like he did a great job.
He did.
This was not a side of Bananas I'm used to seeing. I loved it.
He was a lot of fun. He got on the horse. He was on the tabletops. He was everywhere. And I was like, you know what, Johnny, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. Have a good time. Uh, Everybody seemed to have a good time at the party. And I was like, work, work. We had a conga line happening. It was a fun time. I was hoping there would be more chaos because I'm like, Bobby, you promised us chaos.
Where's the fight?
Where's the
Like
fights? Where's
go storm into someone's room in the middle of the night and throw water on them or something.
right
We got
something? I
none of
was
that.
nothing. We got nothing. I was like, oh, well, it's just a party. Mm.
Yeah.
But Johnny had a good time.
John, you know what? The party was uneventful. Bananas cross dressing became the main storyline of it all. Like
Great, great. So after that, now we're gonna go to the layer because yeah, that's where we are. So we see Bobby come out in his webbed outfit. It's like I think it was like I
oh,
want to call it a spider web outfit.
it gave like evil spider prince vibes.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, I see it.
I liked it. I
I
liked that
did
he was dressing for the supervillain role. Like I want the characters to do that more.
throughout. Yes, I feel like that was the perfect thing. I feel like when Johnny had Bananas had on his fur coat when he was supervillain, I
Great.
thought that was great. Omarosa with her head wraps and her long dress. I'm like, okay,
And
that's
taking 30 seconds to sit
to
down.
sit
Like
down.
all of them
Bob
have tried to really make this chair their own.
it's just like yeah, because even Bobby came and he went, he walked, he looked, he sat, he stood back up. I was like, no, okay, and sat again. I was like, okay. I love that they're playing with the whole supervillain chair and role and all of that stuff is good. And so we get to Joel is like, all right, let's figure out who this hit list is. So Bobby, you have the floor. Bobby said, my first pick is someone who I feel should be up there because they have the worst fashion sense ever. They're boring and they're horrible, and I don't like them. Shake, get your ass up there.
So funny. It's also really great because even Joel McHale decides like I'm gonna rag on Shake too for his shit fashion as well because it is so bad.
It's really just so plain, and I'm like, you're a veterinarian. You don't have no. I'm
You
sure
have
you can afford
money.
some
You
clothes.
can do a little better.
A little something. I mean, we're not asking you to be designer down from head to toe, but
It's like it's giving Old Navy, not Gap. It's giving Gap, not Banana Republic. You know, it's like he could do better, and he's like definitely going below what he could be doing.
like you could do H&M, but you're deciding to do Old Navy
Target.
instead. Target, right? Walmart. Like, I'm not saying you have to go and do like Balenciaga and Dior and
But
Ralph.
H&M is cheap.
And you can do Ralph Lauren. You can do, Polo isn't that expensive. They even have Polo at outlet stores. Like,
Yeah.
you can do that. You don't have to do Walmart and Target brands. But
But
he's sticking with them little khaki pants and those little button down shirts. And I'm like, you went, okay. All right. Okay. All right. You ordered it on Amazon. I got it.
No need to check the fit before we put it on.
No. Taylor what? Taylor shirt, pants, suits, what? No, I don't know what a tailor is. I think he thought you were the tailor that they were talking about. No,
Sorry.
not the tailor you needed. You needed an actual tailor. Whose profession is a tailor, not their name. Okay. Okay. But we move. So Shake
The
is
next nomination.
the next nomination I'm gonna put up is because this person just has to do it. They have to be there. And I'm sorry, Johnny Fairplay, but I'm gonna have to put up Johnny Bananas. I was like,
there's a moment where I think Fair Play is going up. Like it would be so dumb for that to be what Bobby did, but just the way it was delivered, he really did a great job with the delivery. I was thrown.
I was like, oh, not Fair Play. I think in that moment, Fair Play clenched his booty cheeks and was like, is he actually putting me up? Like,
but Johnny Bananas saunters over there with that giant coat of his, and he does his little moment where he's like, hold on, I got to give you something. And he like checks all the
pockets.
So good.
I was like, that was actually really good, Johnny. I couldn't deny that one. I was like, that was actually so funny. He was like, let me check all my pockets.
And he checks them all. Like
he checked them all.
What's he getting?
He went in the inside pockets. He went in the outside pockets. He was just like, nope. I was like, oh, that was classic. That was funny. I probably will be using that in my repertoire.
Absolutely.
I'm
totally
absolutely adding that. I'm totally stealing that from this one. I'm like, let me have something to give you. Hold on. Here it is. That was the best thing ever. I love that. And then this is where the plot thickens and the twist of the plot happen, because the third person Bobby has decided to put on the hit list, because he said this person is the only person I feel can compete against the two of you. And happy to see the both of you still sitting on this block at the end of the week. I am nominating myself.
Everybody is shocked. Like, I think Joel has to check in with production. Production's like, he can do this. Everyone's face is just like,
Tanisha's like, he can do that? They're like, yeah, he can do it, I guess. And Omarosa's like, you're putting yourself at risk. I'm not putting myself at anything because I'm going to win. I was like, oh.
It's an interesting move. I mean, because I do think at the end of the day, Bobby's fine. Because with if he's sitting up there next to Shake or next to Johnny Bananas, the deciding vote is going to end up being fair play most likely. And
but that's gonna be messed up because now Bobby has now turned on fair play, and fair play
uh-huh.
will probably vote Bobby out.
He's more open to considering it now, is my guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because Anfisa will vote if Bananas is sitting next to Bobby. I think Bananas will have Tanisha's vote. Bananas will
And
have Shake's
Shake
vote. Bobby will have Anfisa's vote, and Bobby will
and
have
Omarosa.
Omarosa's vote. So it'll be up to fair play, like you said. Now, if Bobby is sitting next to Shake, Shake's gone.
Oh, Shake is gone.
Fair play will vote Shake. Bobby will vote. I mean, not Bobby. Amorosa will vote Shake, and Fisa will vote Shake. Even if Tanisha and Bananas vote Shake, Shake is gone.
And then it's interesting because if Bobby, let's say Bobby wins Redemption and it's Shake and Johnny, I think Shake still goes pretty easily here.
Yeah, because Tanisha would not want to send out Bananas, and Omarosa and Fisa want Shake gone. That's three right there.
But I could see the Omarosa, or not the, I could see Omarosa like having a moment where she goes, maybe we do take out Bananas instead.
Maybe.
There's an argument that Bananas is the bigger threat.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that too. And I think Omarosa can convince Anfisa to vote Bananas out over Shake.
You think she could?
I think she could. I think Omarosa is the only person that can convince Anfisa to vote Bananas out over Shake.
Yeah. I think Omarosa has a lot of pull in that house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the people she doesn't have to pull with is Tanisha and Shake. And
maybe a little Bananas.
Yeah, a little bit of Bananas. Yeah. But if Bananas is up next to Shake, I can see Omarosa maybe thinking about getting Bananas out over Shake.
Yeah. Well, because there was this moment in the episode where I don't remember, I think Bobby mentions it, where he's like, it's Bananas and Shake and Bananas and, Tanisha. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's the game move, as you take out the linchpin.
Yeah. I can see that happening. I can see it happening. But we do, Bobby does his speech and he storms out like, I'll see you all at the challenge. And he walks out and Joel's like, I think you're supposed to stay. No? Oh, okay. Well, that happens just the way we thought it was going to happen. And so, I don't know, that was it. We get the previews from next week and we see a lot of arguing, yelling back and forth with people.
I will say, so we see Shake looking argumentative and we see Bananas looking chill as fuck. So I have my suspicions about how this is about to go.
Yeah, I think Bananas probably go win this redemption challenge. And when you put Johnny Bananas back against the wall, he's gonna fight. So yeah. I kind of feel like Bananas is gonna win this. And it's gonna be down to Bobby and Shake and the wars that have to happen. And I also feel like Shake is going to do the complete opposite of what Johnny told him to do.
Yep. He's gonna pick fight. He's gonna get flustered. He's gonna get angry. He's gonna make fun of people a little bit.
I'm like, you're an idiot, and you're going to blame fair play when Johnny just told you we can't do that because that's going to you're gonna need his vote. So I kind of feel like we know what's gonna happen next week.
We thought Shake was going round one. I think 4 rounds later, we're finally gonna see it happen.
Yeah, me too. That is my prediction as well. I think Shake is finally going to be up out of here, and he's gonna have no one to blame but himself because he does not know how to chill. He does not know how to chill. He does not know how to save all his anger for confessionals and then leaving outside and acting like everything's cool. Because
Yeah.
I think you and I know your confessionals or your diary room sessions or your where you're talking to production, that is where you vent it all out. You
Uh-huh.
get it out and you
Let
just
it make
like,
the edit. It doesn't need to make the house.
right, like I can't stand these people. I hate them so much. Everybody make me sick, yada yada yada. And then you walk out that door and you're like, hey everybody, you good? Y'all
I
good?
love
Yeah.
you.
I
I
love you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Fist bump. You're great. You're great. Oh no, I don't blame you. Of course, I don't blame you. You're good with me. You're good with me. In the back of your mind, you're fuming like, yeah, I want to take you out, but you're good with me.
Yes. It's interesting too that because Bobby could have just pretty easily thrown out Tanisha and just called it a day. You
Call it a
know,
day.
you're gonna get one of the people out that you want regardless, who really
Right.
cares.
Right.
Um, but I
I
do think
don't
at the end of the day, he should be fine either way. I think the only reason this gets dicey is if he's sitting there next to bananas and fair play is still a little pissy.
right. But that's it. That's all. We've done it. We've talked about it. We'll be back here next week. Same time, probably same panel, talking about House of Villains, episode 8. But if you stuck around this whole time, we appreciate you, number one. Also, hit the subscribe button since you're here. We appreciate you. Hit all the buttons to say you support us because we appreciate your support. And if you happen to hit the dislike button, hit it twice. Um, leave a leave a comment below, letting us know how you feel about House of Villains. Are you still rocking with it like we rocking with it? Is it still giving you Chef's Kiss performance like it's giving me? Um, and follow us on all of our social media outlets at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok because we have funny moments and we do funny things and you want to see them. So we'll put them up there. Our social media person is back in the business. So we can have more and more social media things out there. Also, if you just want to follow me and Tay, you see our things down there.
Gross.
Hit Gross. It's here. Here's my Instagram. That's my Instagram. And then down there is my Twitter. And Taylor's Twitter is down there as well. Also, if you keep going down, scroll a little further, you can get our merch link. Da da da. Not just the cup mug, but all of our official cup merch. It's there. It's beautiful. You'll love it. And on that note, we appreciate you. And cheers, y'all. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Not me doing things wrong. Okay, bye. Because I'm a villain. That's what I do. I in
You can't get
recordings
it right.
wrong.